Hi everybody, Dacob here. Welcome back to the Fashion Bunker. Today we're going to be talking Chanel Métier d'Art, the newly built, launched and opened M19 Chanel Métier d'Art Atelier, a building built in the outskirts of Paris in the ghetto. Now, on Skid Row, Chanel building a building on Skid Row. Let's talk about it. Subscribe to my channel first. Push the join button, next to the subscription button. Become a member today, get access to extra perks. You can also join me on Patreon, superdacob all spelled together, for extra perks there as well. Thank you to all my members and patrons who have already pledged. This video is being filmed live in front of a virtual audience. Here are my co-chatters. I live stream every Saturday. You're all welcome to join the live streams. Keep it on trend, the topic. You're talking hair products, Prada, everything. I mean, this is what you get. This is what you get when you join the Fashion Bunker live streams on a Saturday. We're all a little bit cuckoo. But listen, Business of Fashion reports Chanel showcases French luxury crafts at new Atelier complex, which is built on the outskirts of Gay Paris, at the borders of the 19th arrondissement, which is kind of the 19th circle of hell of Paris. And I couldn't imagine anybody really wanting. I could just imagine. So the Métier d'Art collection that was just showcased a couple of weeks ago, or I don't know, when was it? Yeah, mid-December, was shown in that building. To inaugurate the building, they showed the fashion show, the Métier d'Art Fall Winter 22 Métier d'Art collection was showcased there, and all of the fashionistas were invited to come to the outskirts of Paris. You could imagine all of those snobby bimbos being like, oh my god, ew, we gotta go to the ghetto to fashion show, ew. But they had to, you turn down Chanel once, they're never going to invite you again. Chances are. So anyway, so they were all driven to, or had to drive themselves to the outskirts of Gay Paris, and to see the show. And remember at the end of the show, Virginie Viard, bless her heart, poor thing, she was looking for her office, I guess, or something. And then by accident, she entered the fashion show. At the end, she's like, oh, sorry, wrong room. This is not my office. Sorry, you guys. Bye. And then she left again. And actually, that was her her bowing time. Like, the end of the show, that was her entering, acknowledging that she made the collection and then leaving. Instead, it really looked like she made a mistake and entered the wrong room and then was looking for her office. Really sad. So anyway, in a sign of the... Thank you for subscribing, TN Duktai. In a sign of the French luxury sector's booming fortunes, Chanel will on Thursday inaugurate a huge complex of ateliers where artisans from around a dozen accessory suppliers create shoes, embroidery, and other handmade crafts. Pent-up demand from international buyers eager after months of lockdown to splash out on fine clothes and accessories from the birthplace of haute couture, or at least stamped with the logo of one of France's famous fashion houses, has turned the sector into one of the country's leading exporters. With an eye towards harnessing this growth spurt by fostering collaborative work, Chanel has grouped around 600 craftsmen together over 7 floors, including 2 below ground. I guess Virginie's somewhere there, below ground, at the site in a working-class Paris suburb. Chanel opening up a whole building in working-class Parisian suburbs. Just let that sink in for a moment. The craft house is represented, each with its own specialization, include lingerie, label RE, interior decoration Les Âges, Intérieurs, and jewelry makers Gousson. Who said it? Hubert Barrère, artistic director of lacework specialist Maison Les Sages, said, when we need to work with, say, the jeweler Gousson, we won't have to cross all of Paris for that. We knock on the door next door and we're set. Same for feathers. This is an extraordinary gain for creativity and synergies. President Emmanuel Macron, not the macaroon, but just Macron, he's missing the will visit later on Thursday as part of the official inauguration of the complex on the edge of the capital's 19th arrondissement, known as 19M and also including an exhibition space open to the public. Macron, gearing up for a presidential election in April, though yet to officially declare his candidacy, showed support for the fashion industry early on in his presidency, inviting designers to the presidential palace for dinner before the lockdown hit. Out of 600,000 workers in the industry, 130,000 are employed in crafts-related jobs, according to estimates from the presidential office. Now, listen, you guys. I guess it was cheaper for them to open this building, build it, set it up further away from the center because it's a big investment. What they failed to mention here, however, and this is something that was super important to me, when the Métiers d'Art collection hit and was showcased in the M19 building, there was all of this talk about these ateliers from Goussin to Lesage to, I don't know if Gripois is in there as well, probably not, but you know, Le Marie, all of those, you know, Métiers d'Art brands, sub-brands of Chanel that Chanel has bought up throughout the years, that they're all like kind of situated there. They always kind of told, they never said it openly, but they imply like, hey, all of these amazing pieces are going to be made in these ateliers. And I think they very shrewdly, from Chanel, they did not communicate it properly. They're kind of vague on the communication as to whether or not the final retail pieces from the Métiers d'Art collections would be produced in those ateliers. You see what I mean? What I'm saying here is, I have a sneaky suspicion that this big building with all of these ateliers is like a sample / prototype workshop space where they produce the pieces for the runway, you know, the samples and the prototypes. And then once those are approved, then those prototypes with the indications how to make them, this is just my opinion, are sent to the actual factories that then produce these pieces. This is what I think is happening. But you see, Chanel isn't very clear on this. Chanel is not telling us, hey, all the Métiers d'Art pieces that you purchase from us are going to be produced in this building and other little buildings around Paris or in Italy, because some of the Métiers d'Art brands are also in Italy. No, instead what they're telling us is actually nothing. They're just saying something like these pieces will be conceived in these ateliers, but they're not telling us that the final production of these pieces is going to happen there. But they're leading us on as if we're supposed to believe that what we buy in the Chanel boutiques from the Métiers d'Art collection are pieces that were actually manufactured in that building. And this is where I think that ain't going to happen. You know what I mean? Because I also have, allegedly, some internal information from Chanel. Allegedly. That, let's say a tweed jacket. Particular tweed, Métiers d'Art. For example, the Egyptian collection. Just random one, you know. Just with the gold strings and the tweed and the brown hues, you know, and the black hues. That it was allegedly manufactured in India. The tweed. Once the pattern was produced by Lesage, then the big amounts of tweed that are actually then made to make the jackets, allegedly, were made elsewhere. Because honestly, think about it. Whenever they show us those videos of Lesage tweed, of the artisans in the Lisage ateliers working on their tweeds in these aseptic clean rooms where just like two machines are standing next to each other out of wood and people by hand are threading the tweed. You really believe that with the 10 collections they do a year, that those 2 to 4 tables that produce per hand the tweed, that those 4 tables and those 4 workers are going to produce enough tweed to manufacture Chanel tweed jackets for 10 collections a year, and that's including the haute couture shows? Like, you gotta be crazy to believe that. So obviously, they probably produced the prototype pattern. Virginie and Co. Tick it off like saying, yeah, they approve it. And if the thing is approved, then that prototype pattern is sent off somewhere else, where it's then produced en masse. So, yeah, guys. And I've said this before, and people come for me like, no, Dacob, they even open like extra rooms to produce this stuff all in Paris. Girl, I'm fine with them producing it elsewhere. I really am. Just pay the workers fairly. If you're going to produce it in Bangladesh, pay the people properly in Bangladesh. Give them the right money for doing it. Don't hide the fact that you're producing it there. And then assemble your jacket somewhere in France or somewhere in Italy and call it made in France and Italy. But acknowledge you want to be sustainable. These brands that are trying to be more green, more sustainable, more transparent. Okay, well, how about you start being transparent with where you source your raw materials from and where you source your fabrics from. So if your tweeds are being manufactured, prototype in France, but after the prototype is approved, the main meters and meters and meters of that tweed that you need to create all those jackets, if that then is manufactured in Bangladesh or wherever the heck it's manufactured, let us know. What, you're ashamed of saying it? You think you won't be able to charge us that much money anymore all of a sudden if we know the truth? Maybe that's the reason why you don't want to tell us where the stuff is really made. And this is what I have a problem with. I don't have a problem with the tweed being manufactured in Bangladesh or in China or anywhere, but just say it. You're ashamed of your own tweed? Oh, that's not a good look, Chanel. No, be proud of it. Be proud of the fact that your tweed is made in Bangladesh. Say, like, we are proud. We're working with the best artisans in Bangladesh, and we're proud to say that our tweed, the one that you buy in the shops, in the boutiques, is manufactured there and then assembled there, and we just put the last button on in France and call it made in France, but we're still proud of it. Say it. What are you afraid of? Say it. Say it openly. Because, the truth always has a way of coming out. This is all allegations, right? And speculations, because they're hiding everything. They don't want you to know this stuff. But say it. And this applies to all the luxury brands, you guys. All of them. All of them. The whole lot of them. Jesus is like, there we go, acts shocked. Yeah. Anne-Louise says, before the lockdown, Chanel had plans of penning a factory in Austin, Texas, in a very humble suburb of Austin. I mean, did they? No. What do you mean Chanel is so sustainable? The price increases means I can't shop there, so the environment wins. Alina says. Well, yeah, in a way you could see it that way, but there's always going to be a ton of rich people that won't really care. And this is the funny thing. It's usually the people who cannot afford these things that actually care more about the environment. The really rich people are just, they don't care. If somebody really wants to spend so much, some people do, we can't generalize. But if people just have all that money to throw away on stuff like this, they're going to keep buying and buying and buying. That's already not preserving the environment if you overconsume. But it's kind of fashionable to say, like, I bought a brand that's, like, so sustainable. Like, Chanel is now, like, working so sustainably. Like, this is amazing. So it's kind of something that you say as an influencer because it's fashionable. It's trendy to be on top of the game. And, like, yeah, I'm thinking about, what is sustainable? I'm like, Chanel is now doing this. This is so cool. It's just, like, something to talk about because it's fashionable to talk about it, but it's ridiculous at the end of the day because it ain't sustainable. Just be honest and pay everyone fair wage. It's very simple. Thank you. That's exactly my point. And with that, I would like to end this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Love you loads. Subscribe to my channel. Thumb up this video. And until next time, never forget to never give up on love. Bye.